you ever tried to break a spider pot and thought to yourself, man, this weapon sucks for this. I wish I had a smelly, unemployed, obese man-child who reeks of stale cigarettes and depression to make a tier list about which weapons are best against spiders and their pots. Well, luckily for you, I'm here to do exactly that. I have taken it upon myself to thoroughly test every single weapon available through the Squire, both primary and secondary, against the evil forces of the spider bastards and their impregnable fortresses of spidery shame. So, yeah, like and subscribe, and I stream on Twitch like every once in a while, so please go and follow me there too if you don't mind too much. With that said, let's gently finger these spiders. The arming sword excels at being average. 2 hits to break the pot and 1 to kill spiders. When I think of mediocre, I think of this weapon. It doesn't have incredible range, but considering its attack pattern, it can easily reach around any obstacle surrounding the pot and access it due to its diagonal swing. It doesn't need impressive range to do a modest job at extinguishing spider life. B tier. The falchion is a little bit complicated because it can destroy the spider pot in only a singular hit. It also doesn't struggle when it comes to slaughtering arachnids, with its first 2 swipes being horizontal in wide arcs. This also works against the falchion, since typically spider pots have obstacles around them such as pots or terrain. The wide swing of the falchion makes it difficult to hit the pot, landing it solidly next to the arming sword in B tier. The crystal sword is like the arming sword in a lot of ways. 1 hit to kill a spider, and 2 to destroy the pot. Its first attack in the chain is a stab, which is preferable when it comes to reaching the spider pot and getting between vases and other impediments. I think that it is slightly better than the arming sword, so it goes to the A tier. One of my personal favorites because I don't have enough estrogen in my body to play something like rogue or druid. The longsword is an excellent tool at dispatching spiders and meta-abusing barbarian players at the same time. With its first attack in its chain being a stab that can also one-shot the spider pot, it's already a contender for one of the best anti-spider tools in the game. As for killing the spider mummies themselves, its combo is good at it. Really good at it. The third attack in the chain falls slightly short, but the first and second do an amazing job at wiping the max spawn count of 3, which is all you could really ask for out of a weapon when it comes to destroying ooey gooey fat nasty little spider fella guys. I think that this is going to be our first entry into the Spider Annihilator category, and for good reason. If you main this weapon, I don't respect you. The Rapier is an ugly, unfortunate weapon that can't even one-shot a spider unless you headshot them. It figures that this is a typically used weapon by bard players and rogue players, aka subhuman freak bastard creatures. It follows suit that its impotent blows are incapable of destroying a spider pot in a single strike, something a longsword Chad simply couldn't comprehend or care about. Admittedly, it has enough range to hit spiders without difficulty, and with its attack speed, you probably won't get hit in the process. With spite, and while biting my lip, the Rapier is our first C tier. Akin to its less girthy brother, the Rapier, the short sword is not a man's weapon. Typically used by twinked out rogues who prey on noobs in the 25 to 124 gear score bracket. Just thinking about this weapon fills me with rage, but I am a professional, and I will rate this weapon fairly. This weapon is a chode, but it swings very fast. It takes 2 to kill a spider and 2 to break a pot. Its range is pretty bad too, but not so bad that you're guaranteed to take damage when you hit the mummy spiders, which saves it from the dogshit poopy doo-doo tier. It goes beside the Rapier in the sissy baby C-section. The Viking sword is basically just the arming sword, but for people that watch Alex Jones and only do arm day at the gym. It moves up and down in a straight line, which simplifies accessing the top of spider mummies and the top of the spider pot. One could argue that the arming sword's diagonal movements are superior for the purpose of purging the seductively wrapped 8-eyed menaces from the dungeons, but I think that the Viking sword achieves the goal just as well, if not better. It goes to the B tier, not too much different than its inhabitants that arrived prior. Unless you're Skinny Pete, or have 10,000 hours on Mordhau, I highly doubt you're going to want to select this Y-hander as your weapon when combating the spider menace. With its insanely wide swings and unwieldy moveset, you will hit everything but the spider pot if there are any obstacles nearby, which there are almost always. When trying to kill the mummy spiders themselves, you need to be extremely precise to not hit the ground. With all of this said, it can still one-shot both the spiders and the pot. The issue is just getting there. I firmly believe that the Zweihander is doggy shitty poo poo, piss in my hand, sussy style soup kitchen, harikari souffle style, rather not good. The club is an extremely satisfying weapon to use, above all. Even though— oh my god, what the Even though the club has a wide arc similar to the falchion, it provides the user faster movement speed with only a negative 20 penalty. This makes it easier to kite the spider mummies, and combined with its big horizontal swings, makes it an excellent tool for destroying arachnid hordes. It isn't very long, much like my manhood, so you don't have to worry about accidentally hitting the floor like you would with something like a Zweihander. The issue with the club arises whenever you attempt to break the Spiderpot, where its strengths become its weaknesses. For these reasons, I'm gay. Club goes into B. The flanged mace is an excellent spider-killing weapon. It accomplishes what the club does, but more efficiently. One to kill a spider mummy, and one to break the spider pot. What I really like about the flanged mace is how it reminds me of my estranged ex-boyfriend from college, Ricardo. He was really into bionicles, and had an extensive mace collection. I still think about him sometimes. On my mama though, the attack speed on the flanged mace is what makes it shine, along with its vertical striking pattern. This is our first S tier. The Morningstar is widowy, just a worse flanged mace when it comes to spider devastation. It has a nearly identical attack pattern, and correct me if I'm wrong here gamers, but I'm pretty sure it also has a slightly longer reach, which is the only thing it has going for it against its competitors. It one-shots both spider pots and spiders, but it does so a bit slower than the flanged. It's kind of cringe, not gonna lie. Kind of cringe. I'm widowy gonna have to go in the A tier with this one, with the Crystal Sword. The quarterstaff is indubitably bussing, but for the purpose of spider slaughter, it's rather extra. It's like if you're constipated for a day or two, so instead of taking an over-the-counter laxative, you take a hot sauce enema to clear yourself out. Will it work? Yes. Is it doing too much? Indeed. It one-shots both spiders and pot, and can access them somewhat easily, but its awkward moveset can make it more difficult than it needs to be, like breaking up with a computer science major. The might try and hack your computer or something. What a world we live in. Anyways, for these reasons, the quarterstaff sits in the B tier. If you were to tell me the Warhammer sucked, I would ask you who the f*** you thought you were. My mother? You think you're my mom and you get to breastfeed me bad opinions? You think I need the biddy of the wrinkly bastard fruit? Likely story, obesoid. Anyways, the Warhammer's moveset isn't exactly great against spiders, and because its initial attack is horizontal, it isn't optimal for breaking pots either. It is okay though. The one thing that this weapon has going for it is that it might just be the most satisfying weapon to crack pots with. It's hard to explain, but when you see the animation connect with the ceramic and you see it shatter, it makes me leak a little bit. It's better than the club though, I guess. B tier. The Warmaul is not good at this job. It's good at other jobs, but this is not one of them. Politely, it's hot garbage. It's terrible. Cheeky weekies. It's like if you have an ant problem in your kitchen, so you decide to take a shotgun to go deal with that. It has the exact same problems as a Zweihander, but amplified by 20 because of how slow and bulky it is. I would rather dock a cactus man than use this to take spiders out. Solid poop smear in white underwear tier category. Not good. Do you have soft hands? Are you above the age of 21 and you don't have a license? Do you say the word fandom a lot in normal conversation? And do your parents express concern about your path in life, but assure you that they're not kicking you out yet? Well, my friend, it sounds like the Dagger life is a life for you. You can use your love for Twitter and neurodivergence to expertly pilot these nimble and dexterous tools. Unfortunately, they suck against spiders. The stiletto and the rondelle are essentially the same weapon. You need to crouch to hit spiders on both, meaning that you are likely to take damage when trading, and it takes 2 hits minimum to kill both the pot and the spiders. Their attack speed and their light movement penalty mean that they are at least viable in the hands of a skilled player, but if you have less than 100 hours, prepare to struggle. C tier for both. I do not appreciate the horizontal attack pattern of the Castellan when it comes to the spider killing business. It's just like the stiletto and the rondelle, except I personally prefer the simple downward stabbing attacks of those over the silly goose alternative dance moves, which the first 2 strikes in its attack chain feel like to me. I don't have much to say about the Castellan, other than it sucks pretty bad. One time when I was a kid, I pooped in my pants, left them on the floor, and blamed my obviously human shit on the cat. My family was not fooled. That is how I feel about this weapon. Poo-poo tier. The Chris Dagger is like if a dagger really wanted to be the arming sword, but also was willing to give sloppy toppy with a twist afterwards. I think that its diagonal striking pattern is superior to the other daggers, even if it's still only two-shot spiders and pots. And yes, I am fully aware that you can headshot one-hit all spiders with daggers. Just like TMI from South Park, I'm measuring from the base. Either way, the Chris Dagger is the best dagger for killing spiders, but it still sucks. It do got waves though, C tier. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around. This is going to be a two-part video due to how long it takes me to edit everything. It's a lot of footage to go through and it's wearing me out. I'll probably release part 2 next week if this gets enough traction. If you've made it this far, go ahead and drop a like and tickle my subscribe button please. I could really use it. Good luck against the spiders, friends, and remember that Aliens is a far superior movie to the original. It's Ridley Scott's magnum opus and one of my favorite films of all time. See ya!